Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, my dear brothers and sisters. In today's video, I'll be talking about delaying prayers in Islam and the rules which explain them. So in Islam, the ruling on delaying prayer, salah, depends entirely on whether you delay it within its permissible time frame or beyond it. The Quran emphasizes that prayer is time-bound. Verily, the prayer is enjoined on the believers at fixed hours. Surah An-Nisa, chapter 4, verse 103. So here's a detailed breakdown of the rules, excuses, and consequences. Number 1, delaying within the permissible time. It's generally permissible to delay a prayer as long as you complete it before its time runs out. You do not incur a sin for this, but you may lose the reward of praying at the best time. So we're talking about the preferred time. It's generally best sunnah to pray at the earliest part of the time frame. Exceptions. Isha. It's often considered superior to delay Isha until the first third of the night has passed, provided it does not cause hardship to the congregation. Zuhr. In extreme heat, for example. It is permitted to delay Zuhr slightly until the midday heat cools down, a practice known as ibrad, though this applies mostly to very hot climates without climate control. Then there is the makruh, disliked delay, which is delaying the prayer until the very end of its time. In other words, delaying Asr until the sun turns yellow or orange shortly before sunset is considered makruh, disliked, and bordering on sinful if done without a valid reason, as it resembles the behavior of the hypocrites described in hadith. Number 2, delaying beyond the permissible time. Intentionally delaying a prayer until its time has completely passed without a valid excuse is haram, forbidden, and considered a major sin, kabira. The consequence of missing a prayer is a serious spiritual offense. Unlike missing a voluntary deed, this leaves a debt that must be resolved. The remedy for this, or qada, is if you miss a prayer, the majority of scholars agree you must make it up, qada, as soon as you remember or are able to. You must also engage in sincere tawbah, repentance, which involves regretting the negligence, asking Allah for forgiveness, and resolving not to repeat it. So what's a valid against an invalid excuse? According to the Sharia, which is the Islamic law that specifies what counts as a valid reason to delay a prayer beyond its time, is something I will talk about now. So a valid excuse, exempt from sin, is if you slept through the time despite taking measures to wake up, in other words, setting alarm. If you sleep through it, then it's a valid excuse. But what is invalid? When you're at work or school and you're busy with meetings, classes, or employment, that's generally not a valid excuse to miss the prayer entirely. Forgetfulness. Unintentionally forgetting that the prayer time has passed is not a sin. What is sin is, for example, entertainment. You're watching a movie, playing games, or socializing, and the adhan comes, and the next adhan comes and you missed it. That's a sin. What is not a sin? Unconsciousness, fainting, or being in a coma, for obvious reasons. What is sinful? Laziness, feeling too tired or postponing it until the time slips away. What is not sinful? Coercion, being physically prevented or fearing for your life. That's obvious. What is a sin is when we talk about embarrassment, feeling shy to pray in front of colleagues or in public. So what is also not sinful? When you combine it during travel. For example, travelers may delay Zuhur to pray with Asr, or Maghrib to pray with Isha, Jam ta Akhir. Number 4, the time limits for each prayer. To avoid delaying impermissibly, you must know when the window closes. For example, with Fajr, it ends at sunrise. Please note that if the sun disk appears on the horizon, the time for Fajr is gone. Then there is the Dhuhr. It ends with the time for Asr, when Asr begins. So when the shadow of an object is as equal as its height. Then there is Asr, that ends at sunset, Maghrib time. Please note, it's sinful to delay Asr until the sun is setting, turning yellow or orange without an emergency. Then there is Maghrib, that ends when the red twilight disappears from the sky. This is the start of the Isha time. And then there is Isha. The preferred time ends at Islamic midnight, halfway between sunset and Fajr. So the permissible time extends until Fajr dawn, according to some scholars, but delaying past midnight is disliked. So, what are some practical advices for school or for work, for example? If you live in a non-Muslim country, for example, like Germany or Netherlands or UK, or you have a very strict job, this is something that you should look into. Try to negotiate breaks. Most employers are legally required to give short breaks, and a prayer just takes 5 to 10 minutes. Combine it if necessary. If you absolutely cannot pray, in other words, a surgeon in a 10-hour operation, or some scholars allow combining prayers, Dhuhr with Asr, to avoid missing them, but this should be an exception and not a habit. Wudu socks. Wear seeking khufs, or thick socks, and wipe over them during wudu to save time and mess at work sinks. So I hope that this breakdown has been useful for you. May Allah always give us the opportunity and the chance so we can perform our prayers when we have to. And may Allah be pleased with us and help us accomplish this. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.